So when I found out that both my partner and I were carriers of the sickle cell gene, um, I was scared that we would have children who would be sickle cell carriers themselves, like who would be SS. Growing up, I had schoolmates that were SS, and it was difficult for them. I had seen family friends lose their children and siblings to the disease. Uh, so it was something I was scared of and wanted to prevent at all costs.
Two carriers means that the father is AS and the mother is AS. When you do the permutation of what the possibilities are, you would get 25% of the time an AA, 25% of the time an SS, and 50% of the time an AS. So you have a 1 in 4 chance of having an affected child. But the interesting part is it's not 10 by 10 to say that if you have an AA this time, next time it will be an AS, and next time it will be an AS again, and the fourth time it will be an SS. It's random. So all the first 3 children you have could be SS, and also all the first 3 could be AA or AS. So it's a kind of chance game. It starts with giving the woman medications to produce between 10 and 20 eggs. These eggs are harvested and the partner's sperms are used in fertilizing it.
The team of embryologists, which is led by our consultant embryologist, Dr. Brian Woodward, we receive the follicles that contains the eggs, and we find the eggs, also obtain sperm from the man, and we inject these sperms individually into the matured eggs. So the embryologists also monitor the growth of these embryos in the lab. And then 4 days after we have made these embryos, we sort of puncture very tiny holes, or a tiny hole in the wall of the embryos. And on day 5, we take out some group of the cells that will go into forming the placenta. So by day 5, we have what we call a blastocyst, and at that stage, we can know the group of cells that will form the placenta and a group of cells that will go on to form the actual baby.
So at the Lister, they've got very specialist equipment that allows us to do this very precise micro manipulation. We're using needles that you can't see the end of with your naked eye. Very precise movements that you need. And then we have really good teamwork. That's very important because we have to take an embryo that's 5 days old. We have to pinch off some cells from the parts of the embryo that's forming the placenta. And then we have to take those cells, precisely put them through various solutions, totally sterile, before we then freeze them and send them off for assay.
About 2 to 3 weeks later, when we have results, that tells us the genetic content of each of these embryos. Then we know the embryos that are affected and the ones that are not affected.
Now the woman would have gone through stimulation, egg collection and all that. So you let her rest, and then 2 months later, you prepare the lining of the womb. This is just a single injection they take, and then take some tablets to prepare the lining, finish with suppositories. And then you now select the unaffected embryos and put them back. In her case, we had 10 embryos. 6 were affected completely, that is SS. Only 1 was an AA, and the other 5 were ASs. So we put back an A and an AS, and she got pregnant with 1 kid. So we know that she doesn't have an SS baby, and 3 to 4 months time we would do the baby's genotype and know whether it's an AA or an AS.
I feel very happy, very relieved that I could stay with the person I thought was my lifelong partner and be able to have healthy children as well. So it's quite a relief. We're grateful to God we're grateful to God. We are grateful for the knowledge, that He gave the scientists and to the doctors and everyone involved to make this possible. I think it's unfortunate that some people couldn't be together because of this. That some children, like we hear in other situations, have to be terminated because of this. So it's just a blessing that we didn't have to go through that and that this was made possible. So we're very grateful.